皆さん、こんにちは。Joanna です。Today we will talk about honorifics in Japanese. What's the deal with all these animes calling everybody by their names? What is this san that they always put at the end of a name? How exactly does the Japanese names work and how can we use the names correctly in Japanese? And why are we always in anime hearing constantly the name of the character instead of saying you or using you, etc.? What's the deal with all this stuff of, she called me by the first name, or please call me by the first name? What does that all mean? What does it mean, this super crazy scenes in anime? Let's talk about all of this today in this video, so let's go. The first important thing we need to know about Japanese names is that when they tell us their name in Japanese, they will say first the family name or the surname, and then they will say their first name. For example, if someone tells us that her name is Takahashi Mei. Takahashi Mei. In this case, I will write it over here so you can visually say it. Takahashi Mei. Takahashi would be her family name, and Mei would be her given name. So the first name they say to us is their family name, their surname.
一番隊副隊長松野千冬だ。花垣武道。俺は内葉サスケ。
モンキー D ルフィよろしく。
虎杖裕二です。好みのタイプはジェニファー・ローレンス。
They talk to each other with their surname. That's the polite thing to do. If some Japanese had to talk to me, let's say we just met, they would use my surname, or at least they would try to use my surname instead of using my given name. When someone presents themselves to you in Japanese, they would tell you their full name, and you would address them with their surname. But only using the surname is not polite enough. To be even more polite, we need to use one thing that is called honorifics. What are the honorifics? So the honorifics are these sounds that we add at the end of a name to be even more polite, and you definitely heard them if you've seen some anime or some movie in Japanese. It's the famous san, the famous kun, the famous chan that we add at the end of a name. So let's talk about that in this video. The first honorific that we will learn is san. San is super important. Why is it super important? Because when you have no idea how to address to someone, you just use san and you are being polite. San works with everybody, anybody. To a person that is older than you, to a person that is younger than you, to a person that you don't know. So san is polite with everybody. So san is always the best option to use when you don't quite know somebody. Use san and you will be polite. So you add san at the end of the surname of the family name. So for example, the name that we used before was Takahashi Mei. So Takahashi-san. I would call this girl Takahashi-san to address to her.
あはれんさん。
あ、もしもし、古見さん。
おはようございます、
高木さん。
北川さん、とても綺麗でした。
Second honorific that we will learn today is chan. Chan is a very cute honorific that we use with kids. For example, a 5-year-old, we would use chan with him. Have you seen the anime called Crayon Shin-chan? Crayon Shin-chan is one of my favorites. I found it super funny. And he's a 5-year-old kid, so we call him Shin-chan. Shin-chan. So chan would be the honorific that we attach to the name because he is a kid. Chan, you can also use it with a girl that is younger than you and you are very, 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 very much close to this girl. You could also attach chan to her name.
ダメだよ。危ないからね、キリンちゃん。
かっこいいよ、真央ちゃん。
ほら、あずさちゃん、積み木で遊ぼう。
Then we have kun. Kun is an honorific that we usually use with boys. Usually you use kun with a boy that is younger than you. So you would refer, and you of course are close, you are friends. You would not call kun to someone that you just met. But a friend or a classmate that you're close to, you could call this person kun. If it's younger than you, if you're close. But there is some kind of exception. Have you seen Fruits Basket? It's one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite animes of all time. I'm currently reading the manga. The main character of Fruits Basket, she's Toru. Honda Toru, to be more precise. Honda would be her family name and Toru would be her first name. But her friends call her Toru-kun. Toru-kun. So what's the deal here? She is clearly not a boy and she doesn't look at all like a boy. She's not, let's say, boyish. She's actually a very feminine character. So why do they call her kun? I was very confused by that. And I asked to my Japanese teacher, what's the deal? What's happening? And she first told me, is she some kind of, does she look like boyish or something? And I'm like, no, not at all. And well, she explained to me that, for example, in a classroom setting, it could happen that the teacher called a girl kun. Why? Because san is, let's say, kind of polite. And you are the teacher, those are your students, so you're kind of close to them. So san sounds a little bit polite to the, let's say, closeness that you have with that people. And then chan sounds super, let's say, sounds kind of childish and very like close. So they use kun because this girl is younger than the teacher. And they could use kun in that kind of context because kun means that the person that is saying to you kun is, let's say, higher, a little bit higher than you by age or by, let's say, rank, because, you know, the teacher knows more than you. So that situation could happen, that even though it is a girl, you call that girl kun. But the more, let's say, usual thing is to call kun to the boys, to younger boys.
ライドウ君に喜んでほしくて。中井君って私のこと好きだ。私ガチで五条君のこと好きになってるんだけど。
Let's move on to the next honorific. The next honorific is sensei. And for sure you heard it before. For example, one example that pops up in my mind is Koro Sensei from Ansatsu Kyoshitsu, anime that was popular many, many years ago. I don't know if it's still popular, if you guys still remember that anime. But yes, Koro Sensei. So sensei means teacher, but we don't only use it with teacher. Sensei means that you have a higher knowledge, that person has a higher knowledge of something, or let's say specialized in something. So you will probably also hear it when they are talking to a doctor. So we would also use it with doctors. You go to the doctor, or the anime character goes to the doctor and they would call the doctor the surname and then sensei. Honda Sensei, for example. Let's go to the next one. The next honorific that we will talk about is sama. And sama is also very common to hear that honorific in anime. But sama is the, let's say, more polite honorific that we talk about today. What is exactly sama? So sama is an honorific that means like super, super high person. So we only use it with gods and with kings. So sama, god, practically king. There is actually one exception, and is that sama, we can also use it with the word customer. Customers is okyaku. Well, to be more exact, to be even more exact, kyaku is the word client. The o is something, another honorific that I won't talk about that today, but another honorific that we touch at the beginning. So okyaku, and then we add sama. So okyaku-sama, we would also use it like that. We would also attach sama to it. But to talk about a person, never. This person, well, in anime happens because we have gods and we have kings and we have whatever, but in real life, we would only use it with, for example, okyaku-sama or kami-sama to refer to a god. So sama is a super, super high honorific.
神様ありがとうございます。
So let's go back to those scenes in anime that are super popular, calling by the first name, let's say. There's always like tension. This person called me by my first name, or they tell you, call me by the first name. So in Japan, or in Japanese, changing the yobikata, the way you refer or call someone out, changing the family name to the first name is a big deal, meaning I am very close to you, super close to you, so I can change that dynamic, let's say. So it can happen in both ways, or a person can ask you, just call me by my first name. Or as we can see in anime, just some characters just call that person by the first name or by accident, or I don't know. And that changes the dynamic, and we have like, let's say, a tense or exciting or romantic moment.
水木さん。今日から水木さんって呼んでいいですか？ダメですか？
そんな急に言われても。
わかりました。今日はそれを伝えたかっただけなんで。じゃあ考えておいてくださいね。
ルーシーで登録しとくから。
っていうかルーシーって呼ぶのやめてください。
じゃあ分かった。要は俺もお前と同じになればいいんだろ？
は？
俺のことトムって呼んでいいぜ、ルーシー。
クミコ、一緒に帰ろう。え？クミコ？合ってるよね、名前。それは合ってるよね。私、葉月ね。加藤とかでもいい。
I hope you like this video about honorifics in Japanese. Honorifics are super basic to be able to talk to someone and be polite, and also are super important when you're starting to learn Japanese. You want to use anime as a way of learning new words in Japanese and trying to understand what they are saying in Japanese. So knowing the honorifics helps you out also to be able to identify the name of that character more quickly while you are or reading manga or watching anime or watching some movie. So you can quickly identify the name of that character, and then you can more easily understand and translate the sentence or the manga or whatever you are watching or doing at that moment in Japanese. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you would like to see more videos like this, videos about me explaining Japanese things using anime as a, let's say, context, please let me know in the comment section. I would love to know your feedback, and see you in another video. またね。ありがとうございました。